Hello, hello, good morning. This is Tracy Kay. I am the Joyful Voyager, and I am excited for my guest this morning. She is a wine connoisseur. In fact, her title is Chief Wineaux. She has experience of 22 years traveling around the world learning about different types of wine. And so she's here to share her expertise. Now, what's exciting is that she's a prime example of having taken that experience and everything she's learned and she's put it into a business here, and she's in Northern Virginia. So let's make welcome Renee Ventrice of Cork and Keg Tours. Good morning, Renee. So excited to have you this morning. Now, yeah, so just a bit about, I want to tell our viewers a bit about your business. Cork and Keg Tours, and I'll let you add in, obviously, because it's your business. But what's great about it is that she came up with a fantastic concept where they take groups on tours around all the different vineyards in the Northern Virginia, Loudoun County area. And they have this gorgeous Mercedes Sprinter, and you travel around in splendor. And you don't have to do the driving because they do. And so, of course, right now, things have been with the changes and everything. Nobody's touring. I mean, both of us are in the hospitality industry. I'm in travel. I'm a travel advisor. She's doing wine tours. So what we're doing right now is we're sharing knowledge. So Renee, welcome again. And what I want you to do is first tell us a little bit more about Cork and Keg Tours. And then we're going to get into what you've learned about wines around the world. We're going to take an example of one of your favorite places, like what's one of your favorite places? You told me so many.
Well, actually, I brought 4 wines to go around the world.
Oh, well, let's see. So let's start with, let's get into it. Let's talk about Cork and Keg Tours.
Sure. So thank you for having me, Tracy, and thank you for that lovely introduction. So yeah, Cork and Keg Tours, we do winery and brewery tours, cideries, distilleries, pretty much any place you can drink in Loudoun County, we take people. But that's what the concept started out as when we started the business in 2016. What it's evolved into is actually me being a full concierge and planning service for people who are coming into the area. So not only do we do the tours, but I help people with dinner and brunch reservations. I've arranged things like makeovers, spa days. We've talked about doing horseback riding lessons, cooking classes. So whenever somebody contacts me, I find out a little bit more about their profile, not just what wine they like to drink, but are they from out of town and do they want to do something all weekend? So I'm on the B&B Guild for Loudoun County. So I also help to recommend places for them to stay. With that, and just make an entire experience out of the entire time that they're staying in Loudoun. So it's much more than transportation, much more than just winery and brewery tours now.
And which is great, because when things get rolling again, and we hope that that's very soon, you and I have a lot to talk about.
Most definitely.
Because I got the travelers, you got the food and the drink.
Exactly. And being Loudoun County resident since 2003, we are so familiar with this area. So it's very easy for me to network with all of the folks that I know in the industry. I actually used to write reviews back in 2006, 2009. A long time ago, I wrote reviews under a pen name. And so I've always been a big advocate for.
What was the pen name?
My pen name was Athione.
Oh, okay, now you have to explain that.
Okay, this is actually kind of a good story. I haven't told it in a long time. So I ended up having to get surgery on my foot back in 2006. I got surgery on my left foot. I used to be a fitness instructor. About 40 pounds ago, I taught Zumba and kickboxing and dance and, boot camp. I was a massive gym instructor. Well, I got hurt in 2006, and I was laid up for months and had to figure out a way to keep my mind busy. And while I was all hopped up on Dilaudid pain medicine, I was going to start writing reviews for my favorite places, because I'm also a freelance writer. So I was like, I can't move, so I'm going to write. So I started thinking about the businesses that I really liked, and I started writing some reviews for them, right? So then I thought, I need a pen name. So again, while I'm on Dilaudid, I'm just thinking of what I could call myself. And somehow I landed on the name Affioni. I don't know why. I just landed on that. So fast forward a few months
that's
later.
going to follow you, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have no idea why it came up. I know I was doing some Googling on words that made some sense in my head at the time, and that's what I came up with. So fast forward to me getting interviewed by a Loudoun newspaper, and I explained to her, yeah, my pen name is Affioni. She's like, oh, that sounds like the word poppy, in Greek. And I was like, really? Because I was on an opioid when I came up with that. It was really strange. I was calling myself Poppy while I was on, opiate.
I love it. I love it.
So I've always been a big small business advocate, local business advocate, and so I'm really well connected with these businesses. They know me, they trust me, and so this was a very natural progression from just doing the winery tours into actually supporting other businesses by adding on other activities. So
great. That's great.
My heart. Yeah, it really means something to me, and I'm totally enjoying it. So.
Oh, okay. I love it. I mean, we could literally talk all day about everything you've done. I mean, you were one accomplished woman. But now we have to talk about the wine, girl. Have you seen it all over social media? Everybody has been showing their adult beverage of choice, and a lot of it has been wine. So,
so there's a lot of local support out there for all the wineries and breweries that have to only do takeout and delivery right now, which is a fraction of what they would normally be doing to keep their doors open. So I'm really happy about all of that support. We actually do, it's called Cork and Karaoke. 3 nights a week at 6 o'clock, I go into my van and I do a wine tasting, and then I sing really, really bad karaoke. So we're doing it tonight at 6 p.m.
Oh my goodness, you have to post that.
Yes.
But let's get into the wines that you want to share with us today. We're not able to travel, so we need you to take us on a tour of the world through the wine bottle. It's a little too early to drink it, but we can certainly talk about it. Okay, so
I have one bottle that I could have opened right now because it's sparkling, and you can drink sparkling any time of day. Sparkling in the morning is a celebration. Vodka in the morning is an intervention. So that's really not.
So help me out here. I'm definitely not a wine person. Prosecco, is that one of the ones?
I did not bring a Prosecco today, but I did bring a sparkling. So
show us that one since it's morning time.
Yeah, so we'll start in Europe and then we'll make our way back into the US. So
okay.
Favorite wine regions to drink from. So the first thing I brought was this bottle of Dom Perignon. Here we go. There it is. This is a Dom Perignon. Can we see the label there?
Oh, yeah.
This one is a 2008, and it was a gift that we got. And we haven't opened it yet. We're waiting for that special occasion for this one. But Dom Perignon is made by the Moet and Chandon house in France, and you can only call yourself Champagne if you are in the Champagne region, which they are. Sparkling wines from France, but they just can't call themselves Champagne. They have to be from Champagne to be a Champagne. So something that's interesting about Dom that's very different than Prosecco is the way it's fermented, right? So Dom Perignon goes through a secondary fermentation where they add sugar after they have a finished wine. Usually it's out of Chardonnay. After the wine is completely finished, they add sugar and yeast, and then they cap it again for a second fermentation to get the bubbles, right? So something that happens one of the reasons some people don't like champagne is because the yeast, this is going to sound gross, but the yeast, and it becomes what's called the lees. And the lees are what gives champagne that bready type of taste that some people are like, oh, this tastes like an unbaked dinner roll, right? And so that's one of the features that sometimes happens with champagne that some people aren't interested in, other people absolutely love. If you like a fresher, more puppy pop, type of sparkling, then Prosecco is for you. I have a case of Prosecco back there. I could have grabbed that one, but
no, Prosecco gets me in. Okay, just so you know, Prosecco gets me in trouble. I don't know what it is about that. Maybe you can explain about this, but I've had wine before, and that was fine. But for some reason, whenever I'd have a glass of Prosecco, I lost my ability to edit.
Yeah.
I mean, I found myself saying things and I'm like, oh, my, we can't do this anymore. I don't know what it was about the Prosecco. Is there something in the fermentation process or something? I don't know. Maybe you can share with our viewers.
Alcohol affects different people different ways. I can drink a bottle of Prosecco and feel absolutely nothing. If I try to drink a whole bottle of Dom, well, no, I wouldn't feel much then either. I just
no, but why? I don't know why that
bubbles sometimes do affect people in different ways, especially if you're not a big drinker. But what's different about Prosecco is it is a much fresher and lighter style of wine. It's made from a grape called Glera. It's a different grape grown in Italy, again in the Prosecco area. So it's just made a little bit differently, and it's a lot lighter. A little bit fruitier. It's dry for the most part. There are some sweet Proseccos, and there's all these different levels that tell you whether it's a dry or a sweet, sparkling wine. But yeah, it just tastes different. Prosecco is much lighter, much, think of champagne as that serious older sister, and, Prosecco as the middle sister that's got a little bit of class, but it also really likes to party. And then
that was my problem then. Okay. And I'm not a middle sister, but my mouth was partying after I had some of that.
Exactly. So Prosecco is a party girl that's also got a full-time job. But then you have Pet Nat, which is a new style. Well, it's not new, but it's the newer style of sparkling. And you see that a lot at like craft wineries, smaller wineries that want to get sparkling out faster. Pet Nat stands for Pétillant Naturel.
Do they do that? Is that one of the ones available in Virginia in the wine?
Yes, you can get Pet Nat, I know, at Tarara and 50 West. They both have a Pet Nat. There may be others. I don't know them for sure. There's other sparklings as well. Rowe Vineyards has a great sparkling. So does Casanel. Actually, Casanel won awards for their sparkling. It's called Spark, which I really need to get some of.
Oh my goodness, girl.
Of sparkling wines, but I thought I'd take you guys all the way to the top with.
Okay, let's go all the way. Let's keep going because we could talk about all the sparkling. Let's go to the next. Which country are we going to next?
Next, we are traveling from France to Italy, and we are going to the Della Venezia area of Italy. This is my life.
Let's see. Yeah, what's the name of it? And
this one is called. This is a Pinot Grigio.
Okay.
Is your let's see, it's Gerardo Proschetti. So Della Venezia is the area wine comes from. Pinot Grigio is the varietal of the grape, and then the winemaker is this little green label down here. What I'm going to tell you is that this wine costs less than $6.
What?
Excellent. There are certain varietals that you should never pay more than $10 for. You can if you're looking for like a big name, but if you're just looking for a good quality wine that is a good on a budget that you can serve at like a party, get a case of this. This Della Venezia is $6 at Lidl, and it is a really nice Pinot Grigio. It's got honeysuckle, a little bit of pear, green apples. It's not quite tropical. It's just very light and bright. It's what we call a porch pounder. It's one that you can just sit out there in the hot sun and all day long with your friends, and it's just fine. Maybe not you. You can only have a glass. I can pound this bottle on the porch.
Oh my goodness, porch. And this is timely because I think a lot of us are spending time on our porches if we have them, or our decks. So you heard it here from the wino herself. Here's your porch pounder.
$6 at the most at Lidl. I got it on sale for $3.49. And
where did you get it? Where did you get that?
At Lidl, Lidl. There's
Lidl. Okay, for those of you folks who are in Ashburn, Lidl, Lidl, or any place else, there's a Lidl. But I can. Oh my goodness, you get.
Well, there's one in Ashburn. There's one down near South Riding, and now they built another one up near 7 in Ashburn Village. So there are Lidls.
Okay.
But yeah, so again, it's called Della Venezia is the area. It's a Pinot Grigio, and look for this little green label down here because Della Venezia is the area. So there's lots of Pinot Grigios that are from there, but this one is good. And one of the things that is a good tip for people is that when you go to like Lidl and Aldi to get their version of $2 Chuck, like you get at our trade, It's going to be good wine. Just because it's inexpensive does not mean that it's not quality wine. These are imports from Europe that you don't find at like Harris Teeter or maybe even Wegmans. So these are European imports, and just because that's why they are lesser priced, because they don't have the name brand like Dom Perignon. So high quality. This is where I get my Prosecco.
Sorry, my four-legged children are acting up out there. Sorry about that, y'all. This is live broadcast. I got 3 little beasts at home, and I think he's back barking at the iRobot.
Oh, that's
vacuuming.
Funny.
Sorry. Live television.
Anyway, that's what life is all about.
So listen, you make an excellent point before we go to the next country. Everybody right now is probably pulling back a bit because of job situations and budgeting, you know, that people are working with it. So this is an excellent point if you would like to get something to enjoy, and it's very budget friendly. So thank you for sharing that. Now, where are we going next?
So now we're going to return to America, and we're going to do the coasts, okay?
Okay.
We're heading now to the West Coast. We took a 9-hour flight, first class, of course.
Naturally.
To Sonoma, the Kenwood area of Sonoma. I just got back from there, actually, at the beginning of March. Thank God, before all this popped up. And this is one of my wine clubs out there. We belong to more wine clubs than I'd like to admit, but that's because our palates and Sonoma wine are just one and the same. So this one is from a vineyard called Wellington.
Oh, you can see that very well. Okay.
Yes. So I chose this one because they make an amazing varietal that you don't find everywhere. They make Zinfandel. Now, Zinfandel is the same grape as white Zinfandel. Red Zin and Old Vine Zin are not made the same way. They are the same grape. White Zinfandel typically adds a bunch of sugar, and they don't leave the skins or the seeds in. So it's a very light, easy, porch pounding type of a wine. This Zinfandel is made from This Zinfandel, it's funny, I actually grabbed one of their Pinot Noirs instead of the Zin, but I'm talking about their Zin. Their Zinfandels have vines that are over 200 years old. And so their old vines, they're still producing grapes, they're still making wine from them, but there's limited numbers because, you know, the vines are so old. So what's very cool about it is their Zins have this amazing, spicy, earthy, dark fruit flavor that you don't get in other wines. The wine is almost black when it comes out. I mean, it's extremely dark. They put it, they leave the skins on a long time to make sure that it gets those tannins and all those extra flavors that really make it stand out. So if you're a Zinfandel person, Wellington is the vineyard in Sonoma. Zinfandel grows really well out there in Sonoma. Not everybody grows Zinfandel, but what's about Sonoma is there are probably a good 20 different grape varietals that can grow there. And so you can go to 5 different wineries and not taste the same varietal at all 5. It's an incredible wine vacation. So that's what we're doing here on the West Coast. Sonoma and Napa are definitely very, very well known for their Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. Both of those grapes grow well together. And this is actually a bottle of Pinot, which I should have known because Pinot Noir bottles are shaped differently. This is a Pinot Noir. The Zinfandel would have been a different shape, but I was in a hurry.
Oh, no, that's fine. I mean, this is great information that you're sharing. Now, where are we going? To the East Coast?
We are coming home to Virginia, my friend. So this is my bailiwick. This is also something that I know a lot about, only because my market research dictated that I drink all the wine at all the wineries, all the beer at all the breweries, so that I know what I can recommend to my clients. It's tough life, but somebody's got to live it. And so I nominate me. So so part of our market research when we opened our business in 2016, we had the idea in November of 2016. And so we spent the entire winter going to the wineries, shaking hands, meeting the winemakers, meeting the winery owners, finding out, what we need to know to do a tour business in their area. And it's resulted in some wonderful relationships. We have a lot of exclusive benefits when our guests travel with us. They get some special treatment that they couldn't get unless they were with Cork and Keg Tours. So so that's just something else to keep in mind. Not only are you in luxury, you are a VIP all the way wherever we take you. So Cork and Keg Tours. Anyway, we are going to Sunset Hills, which is a fan favorite. Sunset Hills, They own Diane and Mike. Oh, there's the logo.
Where are they at?
Sunset Hills is in the Hamilton area.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and they have a sister winery in Middleburg called 50 West, another fan favorite. So we go to these two wineries a lot. What's cool, so many things are cool, but two cool things. One is that the winemaker, female, Corey Craighill, she was the Loudon Wine Association Winemaker of the Year.
Wow.
So, girl power, rock on. So she is an amazing winemaker. But what's also really cool is that the wines at 50 West and the wines at Sunset Hills are totally different from each other. I'm having a hard time with this backwards thing. Yeah, the wines are totally different. They are not taste anything alike. You can take the Viognier from Sunset Hills and taste it against the Viognier at 50 West, and they taste completely different. They appeal to two different sides of your palate. So both can appeal to a lot of people. Some people like one or the other better, but they're all amazing wines. This bottle that I grabbed here is a white. It's called Viognier, and it is a grape. I picked this one because it is a grape that does grow really well in Virginia. It likes our different climates. It likes the kind of things that they find in the soil here in Virginia. So this grape grows well here, and it's got, it's some really different types of flavors going on depending on how the winemaker makes it. So it's actually very difficult for me to sit here and say, if you get a Viognier, you will taste blah, 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 because it can go from tasting be oaked and be a little bit on the more vanilla and tropical fruit side like a Chardonnay, or it can be light and green fruits and what do you call them? Seed fruits with a pit in them.
Okay.
So like peaches or apricots, things like that. So there's all these different notes that you can get out of this grape. Just depends on the winemaker. So it's another reason I love Viognier. And this is actually the bottle that I will be doing the wine tasting with tonight at 6 o'clock.
Ooh, okay.
For Facebook Live.
So listen, we've gone over time, and I'd love to talk more because you have so much to know. But what I want you to share last before we go is if somebody really doesn't know much about wine and they would like to kind of get started, what do you recommend that they purchase first to try?
So it really kind of depends on what you like to eat. If you are somebody who likes, let's say, black tea or walnuts, you could probably jump right into dry red wines. I would say try like maybe a Chianti or a Pinot Noir to get started. They're not overly dry, but they do have some tannins, and tannins are the things in black tea and walnuts that attract people. If you like sweets, if you're a sweet wine drinker, maybe go into a Lambrusco or even Moscato as a sparkling wine, because those are higher in sugar. On white wines, I would say start with the Riesling. There are sweet Riesling, and it'll say sweet right on the bottle, or dulce or dolce. So the sweet Rieslings. I would recommend going to Total Wine or the Ashburn Wine Shop and tell them what you like to eat, that you don't drink wine. Tell them what you like to drink. Do you drink Kool-Aid or do you drink sparkling water? And they'll be able to make some determinations for you on that. Also PM me at my Facebook page. And I'm happy to share, ideas on how to try which wines.
Okay, so real quick, your Facebook page is Cork and Keg Tours.
That's right. So if you
Cork and Keg Tours, that's where you want to go, folks. Go like her page. Renee also does a podcast that she has, and we entitled this segment "Start Whining Around the World," because she really wants to teach you. If you want to learn more about her expertise, you do want to tune in. And
yes, I actually do have beginner wine tasting and beginner wine notes, how to pair wine with fast food. So I've got
Hello. You get that Domino's pizza, whatever you're getting, you need to have the right wine with it. And people are doing a lot of takeout. So this is valuable. Right. Okay, guys, if you're doing takeout, you definitely go to Cork and Keg Tours, either her website, you can see it scrolling there below, or on Facebook. Follow her page, like and follow her page, because you will learn more than you ever thought possible about wine around the world, Virginia, the Northern Virginia area, which we are at. And Renee, I want to thank you so much for your time today. I learned a great deal, and I'm sure our viewers did as well. And thank you so, so, so very much. I'm going to
My
end
pleasure.
the broadcast and hang on for just a minute. Don't go anywhere, but I'm going to end the broadcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Hi, everyone. Cheers.